Yo, what is going, guys? This is Professor Loki, and I'm going to be answering a very, very popular question about Loki. I should have made this long time ago, but I didn't, and better late than never, right? The question is, and I'll just be straight. You should know by the title. When should you cancel Loki's 3? So there are, I would say, around 3 ways to use Loki's 3 if you don't include just full channeling it, right? The first way is the one that everyone really kind of does. This is toward mid to late game, when you start to actually like kind of one shot people, or to the point where people are starting to one shot you. So you want to quickly dish out burst damage, but you don't care about the total damage. So this is basically what you're trying to do, is you're trying to stealth auto 2 in 3. So you press 3, right? And then you cancel it immediately for an auto attack, right? So that's what the whole point is. Now, why do we do that? It's to abuse hydras lament, right? So you press 1, you got your hydras. You auto attack. You press 2, you got your hydras attack again. Press 3, you do this, you get your hydras back, and then you 3, and you auto attack. So basically, Loki can proc 3 auto hydra effects like in less than a second. It's really, really good. That's late game. That's like end of mid to like late game. Right? So this is when you should only be doing this when you are when someone's below, like, let's say 50% health. Like let's say that I'm around level 12, right? And if Squishy has like 50% HP, it's better to insta cancel, right? So it's better to do this than to actually let the 3 channel if someone's below 50% health, because your burst in less than a second is more than enough to kill a Squishy at 50% HP. Now, what if he has 100% HP in the mid-ish, like around level 12? That's when you kind of go halfway. So you don't actually fully want to cancel this, because again, you don't, Loki doesn't one-shot people. Not until like late, like not until level 20, when he has like 5+ items. He doesn't really do his thing. So what you kind of want to do is you can apply the first tick, which slows, and then auto attack. This is to just make it where you can continuously go on the person, because remember that 15% slow lasts for 3 seconds, and that person will be moving slower than you, assuming they're not the jungler with like Mercury or something like that. So they will be slower than you, which means you can stick to them, right, and continue your auto attacks. It also means like it goes into a quick burst mode too. So having 1 tick into an auto is really great. So they're slowed, and you still very quickly apply burst damage. That's what you can do. Like I would say around like maybe level 17, 18, like again, really close to end game. When you're like in directly the mid game or even the early game, you don't want to really cancel it like that. You want to actually like let it go until the last hit. So do you see how I did that? So Loki's 3 attacks 5 times plus 1. So it's 5 slashes and then a stab, right? So that's decent. It's not terrible. I think like this ability, if you ignore the scaling, it does 300 damage if in 1.2 seconds. That's not terrible. Again, every assassin can do the same thing, but instantly, because it's like, but like, Kamaza 1 or, Thor 1 or something like that. Like it's just poof, instant damage. Loki doesn't have that luxury anymore, so because of the rework. So what you can do in the early to mid game is you cancel the last strike. So you're still utilizing the ability damage of flurry damage, not the final damage, but the flurry damage, but you're completely ignoring the final damage. You might be wondering why. Well, here's the thing. When you get Hydra's Lament, this is when you don't ever want to do the final damage. That's the rule of thumb. If you do not have Hydra's Lament on Loki, you fully channel this out. You do not cancel the last hit, because the last hit hits harder than your auto attack, right? So like if we want to do this, so check this out. So let's get rid of let's just get Jotun's Wrath, right? So let's say you have Jotun's Wrath. Your auto attack does 76 damage, but your 3 on the other hand should do like 98 damage. So obviously your auto attack is doing 20 less damage-ish than your final hit, right? And that 20 damage matters. So you don't really want to cancel it. Now, there are niche cases. Again, if someone is below, let's say 30% HP, and you have Jotun's Wrath, just fully cancel it. Just do that. Again, when someone is executable, think of it like this. Like, if someone is executable, so again, what's executable? I would say around 50% HP or less. The threshold decreases more the more excuse me, the more items you have. So if someone has around 30 to 40% HP and they're squishy and you're Loki level 5, you can pretty much just auto cancel them and they should be just dead. Even without Hydra's Lament, they should just straight up die from your bleed damage and your triple auto attack damage, right? But again, so if someone doesn't have low HP, you want to just keep it fully kept. Like, don't cancel this ability. The extra damage for the final hit is nice. It's also 30% slow. Remember how I said the 4 to 5 second slow early game is really, really strong. So you don't want to underestimate Loki's 3 in the early game for sure. Now, once you get Hydra's Lament, this is when, like, usually second item, right? This is when you don't use final damage anymore. Again, as you mentioned, my auto does 90, sorry. My auto does 123. The final damage should do 100 something, 116. So even though it's like 8 more damage or like 7 more, whatever, then it's like, that's still more damage and it's faster. That's the thing, it's faster, right? So which is faster, doing this or doing this? See? It feels weird, but it's like, that's how you're supposed to do it. Now, keep in mind, you'll have to train yourself to do the flurry slashers. I don't always get it perfect. In team fights, I don't always keep it at 5 slashes. Sometimes I do 4, sometimes I do 3. Sometimes I do 5.5, like halfway through the final hit. So like, it just, you have to, that's the problem with Loki. Like, he's so much more mechanically, you know, you need to be really much, you know, his ceiling increases a lot because you have to, because of this one ability, right? Because it's so bad, you have to do more things to make it less bad, if that makes any sense. So if you, again, no Hydra's Lament, you keep it. With Hydra's Lament, you do 5 slashes and then you cancel it into an auto attack. Mid to late game, you do 1, maybe 2 ticks of flurry into an auto attack, and then late game, you just fully cancel it. Late game, you don't ever, like, you don't ever, it doesn't matter because they'll be dead, right, in 3 hits. They should be dead in 3 hits. If not, build diff, or the enemy has shell, Aegis, or like massive AoE protections from Guardians or something like that, right? So yeah, that's about it. All right, hope you guys all enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.